And taking a live look outside right now from our Horsetooth Reservoir camera, it is going to be a beautiful day out there today. Sunshine close to 60 degrees, but it is not going to last long. Come tomorrow night, those temps start to take a dive with an Arctic blast settling over the state for quite some time. And because of that, first responders are expecting a very busy weekend. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez alongside Bruce Almighty over here. Beautiful.
Wonder if you're going to pick up on it.
But you're absolutely right about that. Paramedics actually say that frostbite and hypothermia can set in even in mild temperatures. But this weekend, it's going to take much less time to cause potentially permanent damage. Denver's Department of Housing and Stability, or HOST, has had 4 cold weather shelters open since December 30th, and it's going to remain open until 11 a.m. next Tuesday. There will be extra space at the Stone Creek shelter. That is the former Best Western off Quebec, north of I-70. Shelter will also be provided at city facilities on West 7th and South Zuni. And a few so-called front door shelters around the city will have expanded capacity. The city could extend weather shelters further into next week if needed.
Let's now bring in senior meteorologist Chris Bianca. Chris, today is going to be the day to get outside, run the errands, do the grocery shopping, going the run like we're going to do before the temps really take a dive.
Oh yeah, I got that run plan. I got everything ready to go. And yeah, because come tomorrow, I will say most of tomorrow is okay too. So if you want to get that run in or a good long dog walk in, tomorrow should be mostly okay as well. It's not until really tomorrow evening that we settle into this prolonged below freezing streak that'll start at 6 p.m. on Friday until about noon on Wednesday. So that is a good a good chunk of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and a good chunk of Wednesday with below freezing temperatures. That's quite the streak for us here in Denver. Temperatures right now, teens and below zero for us in the mountains, and a lot of teens and 20s on the eastern plains. We'll get up into the upper 50s later on this afternoon, topping out at 58 sunsplash degrees, light winds for us here in town. Again, I'm getting a run in. I'm sure plenty of you are going to be out and about this afternoon as well. If you don't have outdoor plans, make them, because it's going to be our last time in a little while that we can do it. In fact, my guess is today is going to easily be our warmest day of the month for us here in Denver. And yes, that includes the forecast. The next few weeks just looks cold for us. Even after we get out of that polar plunge next week, it stays pretty chilly for us. But of course, all eyes on that Arctic outbreak that starts tomorrow night and to Saturday morning with extreme cold Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then snow for Friday night and Saturday morning. And wind chills could drop as low as -30, especially Sunday and Monday. And there's a chance on Monday we do not get above 0 degrees for us here in Denver. I mean, this is serious, serious cold here, Brianna, so definitely now's the time to take those precautions.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, thank you so much. 7:04 is your time. Sky9 right now still giving us a look of I-70. We've been tracking this crash for about an hour now. We know 3 vehicles were involved. Those center lanes were partially blocked. We have Denver police there on scene, and good news, we also have a tow truck, so hopefully they can clear this up in just the next couple of minutes, but we're seeing heavy backups in this area. So I do want to switch things over to our CDOT cameras, just show you all those backups that we're seeing right behind this crash. This is I-70 in Havana if you're heading westbound. I-25 and 84th Avenue, we also have a crash. You can see crews there on scene, that right shoulder partially blocked. I-225, the reason I'm showing you these 2 CDOT cameras is because we have heavy delays if you're heading southbound right near Parker Road. Just after Parker Road, we do have a crash. So if we switch things over to our main maps real quick, just zooming into that area, we're seeing heavy delays for those heading into I-25. Once you pass this crash area, you should be good to go. But right now, that left lane is partially blocked. Zooming in just a tad bit, you can see it's going to be a 22-minute drive, and we are slowing down to 30 miles per hour. Westbound I-70 at Central Park between Havana and Central Park, those 2 lanes are blocked off. They're the center lanes. We do have a tow truck on scene. Once it clears up, we'll definitely keep you updated. And then southbound right near 84th Avenue, where I just showed you that CDOT camera, from 144th down to 76, you're looking at a 15-minute drive. Again, right near the North and Federal Heights area, we are slowing down because of a right shoulder crash. Keep that in mind if you're heading out the door.
All right, thank you, Brianna. Well, today, the man who took a plea deal in a decades-old murder out of Douglas County is set to be sentenced. Police arrested Michael Jefferson in 2021 for shooting and killing Roger Dean in Douglas County back in 1985. Disgraced CBI analyst Missy Woods linked evidence to Jefferson. Investigators have found anomalies in her work impacting hundreds of cases. Jefferson's attorney told us that his client's case is one of them and that the investigation into Woods was a factor in the plea deal offer. Jefferson faces up to 32 years in prison. His sentencing is set for 1:30 this afternoon in Douglas County.
The future of TikTok is still uncertain. The Supreme Court has yet to rule on the case challenging its ban. It will take effect Sunday unless the video sharing app cuts ties with its China-based parent company ByteDance. That is the day before President-elect Trump takes office. The Washington Post reports Trump is considering an executive order to save TikTok. It would suspend the enforcement of the sale or ban of TikTok for 60 to 90 days. It's not clear when the Supreme Court will rule on the TikTok case.
In his final days before leaving office, President Joe Biden is making a big move to protect federal networks from overseas hackers. It comes after a months-long review by U.S. officials of key hacking operations blamed on Russia and China that took place during the Biden administration. According to a draft, Biden is set to sign an executive order that will task federal agencies with using stronger encryption to protect federal employees' calls and texts. The directive gives the Department of Homeland Security Cyber Agency more power to gather key data from other agencies' networks to investigate hacking operations. It also makes it easier for the Treasury Department to sanction cyber criminals. President Biden put out a warning as he prepares to hand over power to President-elect Donald Trump.
In his farewell address, he told Americans to be aware of an oligarchy of the ultra-wealthy taking control of the country, alluding to the billionaires who have lined up behind President-elect Donald Trump, from Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg to Jeff Bezos.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked.
During his farewell address, the president also called for a constitutional amendment to end immunity for sitting presidents. The Supreme Court has granted Trump protections from criminal liability for his role in trying to undermine the 2020 election. An amendment like that is unlikely, with Republicans controlling the House, the Senate, and soon the White House.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to a deal to pause fighting in Gaza and release both hostages and Palestinian prisoners. Qatar's prime minister confirmed the agreement on Wednesday. The temporary ceasefire could take effect on Sunday. The agreement would be a three-phase deal where Hamas would release 33 hostages during the first phase of the deal, and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners would be released from Israeli jails at the same time. Negotiations to reach the second phase of the deal, intended to end the war, would begin on the 16th day of this deal. In phase 3, any remaining hostages or bodies would be sent back to their homes, and both sides would work together on a plan to rebuild Gaza.